The curtain dropped, there was just like a moment of silence and then suddenly like a big massive scream.
From meeting them via a contest to being surprised when they appear in front of them, join me as I show you some times when fans met their celebrity crush. 7. Selena Gomez. Okay, so this one isn't about a fan meeting a crush per se, but it's more along the lines of a fan meeting their celebrity idol. But trust me when I say that this story is so worth it. So here's the story, and it's one that's very familiar to fans. Mainly, while they love various artists in various genres, the sad truth is the fact that oftentimes those artists can't go to concerts in certain parts of the world for one reason or another. Sure, you've heard of American artists doing shows in Europe and sometimes Asia, but rarely do they go to other places, like Australia. For one Selena Gomez fan, she wanted to show that she had a ton of fans in Australia, so she set up a bunch of social media accounts across multiple platforms to get her attention and try to get her to go down under. Which is exactly what happened. And said fan was at the show she did in Australia and loved every single minute of it. Story over? Not quite. When Gomez found out the lengths that this one girl went through to get her to Australia, she decided to go and visit her in her bedroom while she was live streaming. I mean, that's just too cool for words. What's more, the fan was singing her song for a radio station.
Kill him with kindness, kill him with kindness, kill him, kill.
Who was in on the act and recording herself when Selena walked into her room. Needless to say, the fan was overwhelmed. The two hugged, and an eternal moment was born.
Of course. I went to the Dallas show.
Really? Oh my god. That's insane. It's so sweet. Like, I don't even fathom somebody like...
So while this isn't number one on this list, do note that it's one of the coolest things on this list, no doubt, and no doubt number one in our hearts. And if not, what's wrong with you? Look at how happy she is. This is honestly a heartwarming story about a fan working so hard for others that she gets the opportunity of a lifetime in meeting Gomez. And you can bet this is something that she will never forget. And furthermore, props to Selena Gomez for doing this. She honestly didn't have to, and I bet it took a lot of prep and coordination to do this. But she knew that this fan deserved this meeting, and so she did it, and that's awesome.
That's so awesome.
6. Justin Bieber. Here's another take on the meeting a celebrity crush thing. Because whether you want to believe it or not, celebrities have crushes on one another. And one of them involved was the infamous Justin Bieber. Whether you love him, hate him, or really hate him, there's no doubt in anyone's minds that Justin Bieber is a megastar, and while it sometimes seems like the only people who really like Justin Bieber are teenage girls or slightly older girls, that's not exactly true. Because sometimes fans come in all shapes, sizes, ages, and celebrity statuses. Such as when Ellen DeGeneres actually had legendary actress Diane Keaton on the show, and during the course of their conversation, Keaton admitted that she liked Justin Bieber.
I like that boy. Yeah, he's a man now, he's 21. Even better.
To be clear, Diane Keaton isn't just an established actress, she's an older woman, and yet she was getting visibly entranced by photos of Justin Bieber in his more manly form that he has now. And Ellen was having the time of her life bringing these feelings out of her. So then, to top it all off, Ellen actually had Justin Bieber come out on stage.
Then you can be a believer.
And Diane Keaton almost lost her mind. She couldn't believe it. She even tried to run from Justin when he tried to hug her for all the kind words that she said. And that's no act, ladies and gentlemen. She was honest to goodness shaken by the fact that she got to meet this young man, and that made it all the more hilarious. If we're being honest, this isn't something that you see every day, and that's why we laugh. Because what does it mean about Diane Keaton that she liked Justin Bieber that much? I think the word is cougar. I'll move on. 5. From cutout to real. Here's one fan who got the wish of virtually everyone who wanted to go to prom with a celebrity, which many of us have dreamed about in some fashion over the years. Anyway, once upon a time, a girl decided to take a cutout of Michael B. Jordan to the prom, partly as a joke, but also in a tribute to show how much of a crush she had on him. The video went viral, and eventually Michael B. Jordan himself decided to go meet this fan. So a news crew decided to have a little fun with her and interviewed her about the event. And as they did, Jordan appeared behind her. And when she saw him in full 3D form, she was, needless to say, overwhelmed. To the extent that she couldn't help but say, "OMG, you're touching me."
Oh my god, you're touching me.
Yes, he's touching you, and it's great. Enjoy. 4. Jack Nicholson. Now here's a pairing that could have only happened at the Oscars. Jennifer Lawrence had just won an Oscar for Best Actress for Silver Linings Playbook, and she was doing an interview with someone about it when none other than Jack freaking Nicholson shows up to interrupt the interview. Lawrence didn't notice him at first until the interviewer pointed him out, and she became visibly shook at the sight of him being near her. Nicholson wasn't there to crash the party though. He went and wanted to congratulate Lawrence for her win and was very polite.
Thank you. Yeah, you're being really rude.
She played it cool for the most part and even exchanged some witty banter with him, including asking if she looked like a new girlfriend in his eyes, to which he said, "I thought about it." And after she broke down again at what happened, he came back in his signature glasses and noted, "I'll be waiting," which got her to break down again. While the interviewer tried to get back on track, Jennifer was still all shook up, and it was clear that this was the moment she was going to remember the most from that night. The Oscar comes second. I mean, it is Jack after all. There's a reason he was one of the biggest A-list stars in the business. And for him to say such wonderful things to Lawrence and then revert back to classic Jack form, yeah, that's talent.
Is he still here? He's waiting. Oh my God!
3. Zac Efron. During the Rio Olympics, the US women's gymnastics team was doing an interview, and one of the team noted that he had a huge crush on Zac Efron. And she noted that if they were able to come back and somehow meet Efron, that they would need to shock her back to life because she would be so overwhelmed. So naturally, they did bring them back, and the Today Show host reminded them of the statement.
And then we'll do the surprise after.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Cool. Awesome.
All the while knowing that Zac Efron was right outside the door. The gymnasts were freaking out in the lead up to that reveal, and when he did show up, they all could barely contain their excitement. While the one that was the focus of this gift reacted accordingly, the others couldn't help but get in on the action, including one going, "I want to hug him too," and doing just that. If you really think about it, this was a cool moment overall. These were 5 girls doing their absolute best for the United States in the Olympics, and then they're rewarded in the purest way possible by meeting Zac Efron. Say what you will about Efron, that was really nice of him to do. 2. Meryl Streep. There's a certain amount of joy that comes from an unexpected meeting with someone you idolize, and when it comes to the red carpet, you never know who you're going to meet. And for one Gina Rodriguez, who made her name off of Jane the Virgin, she was merely walking to the SAG Awards in 2017, that's the Screen Actors Guild Awards, when she was asked to take pictures for the press. As she did, none other than Meryl Streep came up behind her and decided to do a photobomb with Gina having no clue as to what was going on. Eventually, she turned around and saw Streep, and when she did, she lost it. And those aren't my words, those are Gina's. As she posted a pic of the photobomb and went, "This was about 3 seconds before I lost my shit. Meryl, thanks for the photobomb. My shit is now officially lost." And in this very funny case, it's totally natural that she lost it. Meryl Streep is hailed as one of the best actresses alive today. So for a young woman like Gina to be able to meet this legend and to have that legend actually pose with her cleverly shows that respect is being given in both directions. And it's funny, and we all need a little more laughter in our lives, don't you think? 1. One Direction. Let's talk boy bands, shall we? Whether it was the Beatles, New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, and now groups like BTS and such, they have some of the most rabid fans on the planet. And at times, I really do mean rabid. It gets weird. Anyway, they are that way because they inject themselves with so much of these groups' music, backstory, and more that the mere thought of something new by them is enough to make them happy. So, back during the days of One Direction, yes, I know it wasn't that long ago, the band decided to surprise 40 fans via a news show.
For fans, as long as you're really excited and all that, then everyone will want to do this show, okay?
The news show brought in 40 fans to talk to them about One Direction, not knowing that they were actually in the room. So, after some good setup with the fans, they dropped a curtain and revealed the band to them. Their screams were so loud that I'm sure dogs went deaf in the area. No, really, they were screaming so loud that I'm shocked that they didn't lose their voices. even though I'm sure that they lost their minds because some of them were legit breaking down into tears. They were so moved by this that they truly couldn't contain themselves. I'm sure this was truly the best day of their lives, until the band broke up, that is. So, what do you think? What do you think of these times that fans, young and older, met their celebrity crushes? Which of these reactions was the most fun for you? Have you ever met a celebrity crush of yours? Tell me about it in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.